When we disconnect from our emotions, we disconnect from ourselves and our path. And disconnection doesn't always happen all at once, it can happen slowly and over time. Sometimes disconnection happens after a breakup, after disappointments in life, and even after there have been times where heavy emotions have come up and we just don't know how to process them or sit with them, we slowly begin to pull away from ourselves and disconnect. So, today I want to talk about when that happens, like why that happens, what it looked like in my life, and I want to give you some questions to sit with to help you reconnect with yourself. So, before we go further, welcome to the Self Healing School. This is your space to reconnect with your body and your soul wisdom so that you can hear your inner guidance, trust your path, and follow your calling. And I'm Essence, your mentor and host. All right, so let's dive in. So, for a lot of women, again, this disconnection doesn't happen all at once. And sometimes it can be a big life event, but a lot of times it's not. It's just small ways that you slowly start to pull back. So, for instance, day to day life, this could look like you have feelings start to come up in your body, and then you just grab your phone and you start scrolling. Or maybe you get up and you go to the refrigerator and grab a snack. Or maybe you're saying you're fine, but you know you're really not. Or another way you may know that you're disconnected is, let's say you are just going through life, job, kids, all your obligations, and it's like you notice that you're just kind of like an observer in your life. You're viewing it at a distance instead of being completely 100% there and in it. That is a clear sign that you are disconnected from yourself. And there may be other habits and patterns that you may want to explore. So, for me in my life, like back in the day when I was really truly disconnected from myself, my life looked like this. I worked at night, so in the daytime, like I just didn't want to deal, I didn't want to do anything. I just spent most of the day in the bed, sleeping late, and watching TV until it was time to wake up. Another thing that I did, I drank. I drank heavily, and every day I would wake up and slightly hungover, and I would be like, I'm not drinking today. But I would. Sometimes I'd start drinking before work, and I worked in a club, so like the alcohol was there. So I might even drink before I went to work, then drink, heavily when I got there. But it was the same thing, just like drinking to numb the discomfort. One, that I didn't really want to be at the job, and then two, there was something inside of me that I just couldn't quite be with. I didn't really know how to name it at the time. And honestly, we can even just say it was just I didn't know how to be with my emotions at the time, because I would often cry, get drunk, and just like start crying out of nowhere. So that was a clue that there was something deep and heavy going on inside of me. But also, let's say I got some good news. I didn't know how to be with that either, and I wanted to go have a drink then too. It was like I just didn't really quite know how to sit there and be with myself. And so drinking and watching TV was a way to avoid what was happening in my body. And what I understand now that I didn't understand then is that our emotions, they are messengers. Whether they are loud or whether they are just subtle, tiny little whispers, they have a message, but most of us are not taught how to sit and listen and tune in to what the message is. What are the emotions trying to tell you? So, what we do, we avoid them, we push them away, we numb them, all the things that I just talked about. That's how we distract ourselves to keep ourselves from feeling. But when what they do is they stay there, and then they shape how we feel, they shape how we think about ourselves, they shape our life experiences. And so as we grow up, as we get into life, like as kids, think about kids, they're very in tune with how they feel a lot of times, and they're going to tell you how they feel. But if our feelings aren't really welcome, then that's when we start to push them down, and then that's how we disconnect from ourselves. So we lose our connection with ourselves, to ourselves, by disconnecting from the way that we feel, from pushing things down or running away and avoiding them. And so when we lose connection to our emotions and to ourselves, this is what takes us off the path. This is why you may feel like you can't tune in and hear your intuition or hear God, or you feel like the steps are not being laid out in front of you. It is because you have quietly and subtly disconnected from your body, from your soul wisdom and inner guidance. So if I could go back, I would go back and say to little Essence, or she wasn't little at this, she was in her early 20s at this time. But knowing what I know now, so much of the disconnection stemmed from this belief around that I'm not lovable, that I'm not okay. Like, I'm not good enough being just me. Like, I need to drink to be the life of the party and just like let the other me out, because quiet essence wasn't enough. So I would go back and I would say that you are lovable, you are enough just as you are. It's okay to be an introvert. And I would just tell her that the time that it's going to take to love yourself and love who you are authentically without the liquor, whatever, however much time that takes, you are worth that time. Give yourself that time. Because what I know now, when you do, things change for the better. And so I want you to think about, what would you tell your younger self if you can pinpoint when you started to pull back and disconnect from yourself? What would you say to your younger self? So I'm going to also give you a few more questions to sit with. So I'm just going to look at them here. Before I say that, I just want to remind you though, you don't have to look for big, huge breakthrough moments. Again, these often happen just small and subtle things. So as you go through these questions, just trust what comes up. And because oftentimes the healing actually starts with being willing to sit with these questions, being willing to sit with whatever little tiny thing comes up, and allowing that to be enough. Okay? So I want you to ask yourself, when was the last time I felt truly connected to myself? So you might even do it just like that, like put a hand on your heart, close your eyes, and just say, when was the last time that I truly felt connected to myself? And just see if an image or words bubble up, journal it, or just let it rise up. And then the next question, are there emotions that I tend to avoid when they show up? So think about that. If I slowed down and really listened to my emotions, what might they be trying to tell me? Okay, so those are a few. If you follow my Substack, you'll see them written out, and I think there'll also be a few more in that article. So I'll leave the link below if you're watching this outside of Substack. And again, just remember, you don't have to have the perfect answer. They don't have to be like life-changing, huge breakthroughs. But just write it out or sit with it, and then just say thank you. Thank you to that part of you that wants you to heal, that wants you to grow and be on your path, and whatever information she gives you, let that be enough. Okay? So, if this resonated with you, I would love to hear from you. Please feel free to share any of your breakthroughs or insights that came up as you were journaling or listening. And if you're on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel. If you're outside of here and you feel led to share this with somebody, please do, to help this get discovered. And if you want to go deeper and you want some help, there'll also be a link below for any one-on-one services that I have available. But other than that, thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next video.